looking for someone discussing a particular principle of your next conference, and we give Maria's email address. How's that? Is there anyone else who would like to say anything? James.
Hi everybody. I think most of you know me, but I'm James Herman. I finished up and defended my thesis about a month ago. But I really just wanted to tell you a couple of things about my time with Josh that have meant a great deal to me. The first is that there's a way in which I really don't know how it is that Josh molded me into the scientist that I am today. It was a bit of a mysterious process. I came to the lab awfully confident in my abilities and my training, but it became clear to me pretty quickly through my interactions with Josh that there was a really different level that I had to bring my game to. It was partially through that immense amount of red text that Mark showed you earlier, that hammering out that paper that we worked on together, that I started to really understand what it took to be a scientist. And I've been thinking about this all week, and it's really completely elusive to me. But all I can say is that I know for sure that there's no one else around who could have done this. There were a lot of times along the way when I shit the bed, when I really screwed things up. I mean, it didn't matter. It didn't matter how much I fucked things up. I would go to Josh with these things, and he would always just immediately go into action and figure out how to help and support me. His instinct to support and to help others went so far as to, when he first got his diagnosis, he was carefully trying to keep me from finding out about it because I was on honeymoon with my wife, and he didn't want that to be colored at all by this. I did find out incidentally, and called him immediately, of course. Another example of that is that it was maybe 6 months later, and my dear puppy dog died. And again, it was Josh, sick himself, comforting me as I was blubbering away in his office about my poor little dog, and telling me about, the fact that he understood and that there was a dog with whom he had a really, really close relationship with that he still thought about to this very day. And then about a month later, I told him I was getting a new dog, and that I was going to bring the dog to the lab every day. And he was really into it. Little donut would be there, peeing on the carpet, or doing whatever, and he would be enthusiastically introducing her as our new lab mascot. And I remember just one more detail I want to share with you, which is that I asked Josh, I said, all right, Josh, let me show you some plots, as I frequently would say. And I sat down at the computer and I was scrolling through some things, and Donut was there. And I sort of turned around and I caught Josh was playing with her and was doing this little thing with the dog and encouraging the dog to sort of nibble on his hand a little bit. And he said to me, I hope this is okay. This isn't against house rules or anything for me to do this, encouraging the dog to nibble on my hand or whatever. I said, no, that's fine. And to my great joy and delight, that this is Donut's favorite thing to do in the whole world. She absolutely refuses to go to bed at night before we've had a long battle between my hand and her mouth. So, once again, a very brief interaction, and Josh has shaped the behavior of this little animal for the rest of her being, much as he did to me. Thank you, guys.
James was just recently defended, that would not have happened as readily as it did if it weren't for Mark and Annabelle, who were post-hoc not really becoming surrogate Joshes. I hope you take that as a compliment. I'm not commenting on your dress sense. So they did walk the walk, and the whole lab lived that attitude. I can tell you from close daily examination. Is there anyone else who'd like to say anything?
And I am here representing the Chilean group that we met George. And we have a long story together. And I want to say something really easy. His style was unique, but he was unique in a way that I want to emphasize. He was a leader with imagination. In the current setting where you have vast oceans of deserts in academia, where everything is technically perfect, but with no imagination and no emotion, Josh Wallman was, in this sense, a unique scientist because he was I saw a picture. He had ideas about everything. And he was willing to pursue them in orthogonal directions. And in this sense, he was a unique scientist, because of his interest, his willingness to follow. And in this sense, he was then a leader with imagination. And as Saint-Exupéry said, these people are really the people who cannot be missed, who are essential for humanity. Then, for me, it was a big pleasure to have met Josh Wallman and to have this relation with our lab in Chile. And in some sense, it's amazing that his work in birds is being continued in Chile. Then we have this big lab working in birds. And this is one of the interests of Josh Wallman, and it will be maintained for quite a while. Then I'd like to say this people here, but I want to emphasize that he was a leader with clear views in the future. Thank you very much.
Invite you